In this video, we get stopped by armed coast guards, cycle through a very lush but quite hostile region populated by the indigenous Mayan people, and experience some of the steepest climbs of this trip.
As you might remember from the previous episode, we left Belize and had an extremely rocky boat ride back to Guatemala. Luckily, we survived it and arrived in Livingston, a Guatemalan town only accessible by boat and mostly populated by the Garifuna ethnic group, a blend of African and indigenous people. This is a traditional Garifuna dish here in Livingston, and it looks delicious. Fish fillet with green banana chips and some fresh lime juice. First day back in Guatemala after our little Belize extravaganza, and mixed feelings about being back. We've done the usual dance around town trying to find food. Haven't mentioned already, Guatemala is really frustrating when trying to buy supplies because you have to go from shop to shop to shop to shop because you can never find everything you want in one shop. And even then, you never ever find everything you want if you go to several shops. They just don't have it. So the biggest supermarket in this town, Livingston, has a lot of cookies, crisps, sugary drinks, and yeah, that's about it. So we've just done our little, done the round and paid about $17 for a small batch of laundry, which is the most we paid on this entire trip for laundry. We were too tired to question the guy, but yeah, crazy expensive here. But yeah, it'd be good to get cycling again after surviving the boat ride.
We had one more boat to take from Livingston to Rio Dulce. Unfortunately, we didn't get very far before we got stopped by a no-nonsense squad of armed coast guards.
It turns out they were just worried about our safety because the boat captain had forgotten to give us our life jackets.
With the life jackets on, we were free to continue, and after a very scenic ride of about 1.5 hours, we arrived in Rio Dulce.
Just before we left the boat captain decided to try his luck and insisted on us paying 60 quetzales per bike instead of the 50 we had agreed. We stayed firm and he backed off, even though interactions like this can sometimes be a bit intimidating, especially in a foreign language.
Found a little bit of bicycle path. Probably not gonna last very long, but it's nice. It's been a relatively stressful morning. I got bitten by a caterpillar, and when I googled it, of course, it's like a mega poisonous caterpillar and you can die from it and all the stuff that you read on Google. So I'm still alive, and it's been okay actually. Guatemala is known as the land of eternal spring. While the temperatures were quite a bit higher than a typical spring day we're used to, we could not argue with the beauty and lushness of this unique country.
On our second day of cycling, we entered the Alta Verapaz region of Guatemala, which has the highest poverty rate in the country. It's home to mostly indigenous society, which historically has been excluded from economic and political decision making. We read that roughly 83% of the population lives in poverty and 54% in extreme poverty. Some of the living conditions were appalling and it was very difficult to witness. It didn't feel right to film any of it, so we put our cameras away. So we're just cycling through rural Guatemala right now, just west of Rio Dulce, second day since getting off the boat. And it's a very strange atmosphere. A lot more kind of heckling and people shouting gringo, and we just got stopped there by a group of boys who put a line across the road and said you have to pay to get past. They initially said 10 quetzales, and I said no, we'll give you one each, one quetzal, like a coin each. Because they weren't doing anything, they were just standing about, stopping people and trying to charge them. And the locals were just zooming past, they weren't even stopping them, so it's just because of us. And I gave them a coin each, and the guy was like, 20 quetzales, and I was like, no, this is it. And they were like, oh, okay, thank you, and then dropped the line. But they were kids, but it was just a bit unpleasant.
The atmosphere in this area didn't feel very welcoming. Most of the day we were heckled with frequent shouts of gringo. Groups of kids would chase after us asking for money, and on the bumpy gravel roads we couldn't make fast progress. We were relieved to hit the tarmac. There was a warning on I-Urlander that there would be a gravel stretch on our route, and we thought, oh, that's fine. It's only about 17k, and a lot of people commented, and just kind of worked out it would be no more than 17k. 40 kilometers later, here we are, finally found some tarmac.
From then on, progress was fast, and we could again admire the scenery. There were indigenous people in their colourful clothes everywhere. Most indigenous Mayan people in the Alta Verapaz area are Sketchy people, one of 24 indigenous groups that live in Guatemala. Sketchy people have a rich culture rooted in Mayan cosmology, which includes traditions like believing they are the children of the 13 sacred mountains.
Happy?
That face. Good.
The reward of the day was meeting the sweetest golden retriever, Max. He was probably the best looked after dog in the whole country, and sadly, we saw hundreds of abandoned, starving and injured dogs all over Guatemala.
Just getting ready to leave this beautiful hotel we stayed at in Santa Catalina La Tinta in Guatemala. And today we have 1,900 meters, almost 2,000 meters of climbing. So it's the biggest day of climbing if we get to the top. So it's a lot. Hopefully today's a bit more relaxed than yesterday. Yesterday wasn't relaxed at all. We got shouted at all day by people. There were some roadblocks with people demanding money, and it was all just not a very nice atmosphere. So the road condition I think is paved today, so hopefully it'll be a bit more chilled, but kind of know it's part of what to expect in this part of the world, but it doesn't make it any more enjoyable. Our third day started with more incredibly lush scenery and rolling hills, which gave us a false sense of security that the day would not feel as hard as we thought. Little did we know that straight after lunch we'd need to tackle some of the steepest climbs we've done on this trip so far.
Un pinchazo, huh?
Un pinchazo. Truck wire. A little bit of wire was just stuck in the tire from so many trucks on these roads, so a bit annoying. Easy fix though.
So we just had some early lunch, more eggs, yay. And so far we've climbed about 600 meters and cycled 30 kilometers. We have another 28 kilometers to go and another 1400 meters to go up. So it'll be steep and fun this afternoon. Oh, this is fun. Love a good climb. There was an occasional downhill section, which was fun, but it's hard to enjoy the downhill when you know you'll have to climb back up.
These Guatemalan hills are no joke. 1,900 meters was forecast for today in the climb, and they are so steep, like crazy steep. Just had to push for a bit there. Yeah, some of the hardest climbs we've done on this trip for sure. And it's hot, but it's cooling off the higher we get, which is good. But yeah, Guatemala and the highlands here, it's tough going. People here are much nicer than they were yesterday though. Everyone's very friendly and supportive, which is really nice.
Six K to go, and we're absolutely wiped out. I'm sweating so much that my hair just drenched me with my own sweat, and I was dripping on my top and soaking it. That never happened on this trip before. Steve is trying to do extra training. What are you training for?
More climbing in Guatemala. That's what.
Extra 3 liters of water. Oh dear. Such a beautiful view. So quiet here as well. We were meant to stay in this building here, where the motorcycle is actually, but the owner was so lovely that he upgraded us to this premium room. It really feels premium, feels so cozy and nice, and I haven't felt like this in an accommodation in a long time. So yeah, it's so lovely. Shame we have to leave. Steve doesn't want to leave.
Not leaving.
Not leaving.
Thankfully, we found a quiet mountain route in order to escape a busy road with no hard shoulder. And suddenly, there were other cyclists too.
Cerca de Tacti.
De Tacti somos nosotros.
Un hotel que está ahí, Barranca.
Guardabarranco.
Guardabarranco.
Pero vienen de otro país, ¿no? Andan dando la vuelta.
Por aquí empezamos de Ciudad de México.
¿Y hasta dónde termina?
Ecuador, Perú.
Por
Perú.
Ahí.
Vamos.
Pero no viven en el Perú.
No, Escocia.
Escocia.
Sí, somos de allá.
So there's been a lot of noise coming out of my crank the last day or two. Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe a bottom bracket issue. It's a noise I haven't really heard before, and most noises with this bike I've managed to solve the problem very quickly, but not this one. I've tried tweaking and changing lots of things, so I think the bottom bracket may need changed. Thankfully we're not too far from Antigua, a few days left, so hopefully we can get it fixed there. Not something you want breaking in the middle of nowhere, for sure.
The gravel road came with its own challenges: loose gravel, steep climbs and descents, as well as a few flooded sections to cross. Just cycled down this very steep hill and we have a river to cross, so not looking forward to it, but I put my sandals on and yeah, we'll get it done. Cold! A bit cold. Oh. We're just at the top of this really quite big climb actually that we did. Don't know if you can see there's a road down there underneath the electricity line. So we just kind of climbed all the way up to here, and we're gonna have quick lunch now, and then we have about 11 kilometers downhill into the village, and that's us for today. So yeah, good day today. We made it to the top. How do you feel?
Oh, pretty wiped out, but good. Beautiful country actually. Places like this make it all worth it, and the people have been really nice here, waving at us and beeps of encouragement. And it's really green and lush and mountainous, so really enjoyed it.
Lunch now.
Lunch.
Every gravel road taken usually turns out to be the right choice and worth every drop of sweat. This road was no exception. We could finally relax and hear our own thoughts again, which turned out to be a rare privilege in Central America. We later found that most areas in this part of the world tend to be densely populated, and there's a crazy amount of traffic on the road.
The descent into town was tougher than we thought due to the loose gravel and steep sections. Steven ended up falling off his bike, and I not only didn't notice it, but didn't even hear when another cyclist shouted about what happened.
With a few more scrapes on our bodies, we dropped down to Salama, which is situated at 940 meters above sea level and is the capital of the Baja Verapaz department. Of course, we couldn't resist the luxuries and convenience the city had to offer.
Feel like we deserve this. Domino's and series.
The good life.
The good life.